Buenos días, good morning. Buenos días, good morning, bienvenidas, bienvenidos. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, dear authorities, speakers, presenters, moderators, attendees. Welcome to all of you who are following us in person in this amazing venue, the Trade Fairs and Congress Center of Malaga. We also want to say hello to a lot of you who are following us online from all over Europe. We're going to do our best to make sure we convey to you the touch and feel of the discussions that we will be having here for the next 3 days. So stay with us, because we will also make sure that you are part of our meeting. My name is Concha Ortiz. I am an international communicator. I am very, very European in my heart, and also very, very Andalusian in my heart. So this is the perfect place for me to be with you. I am actually honored to conduct this plenary session with you for the next 3 days. I'm really looking forward to learning about industry in Europe, the current and future challenges and solutions that you together will devise. So welcome everyone again to the 2023 edition of the EU Industry Days. As you very well know, this is a yearly event that the European Commission considers its flagship event to organize a sort of like talking shop between you, real talk shop, and in this case, with the support of the Spanish presidency of the EU Council. And on the agenda for today, we have many plenary and parallel sessions. I will tell you about them later on. And we are focusing, and that's really important, on 3 key themes that we will be sort of like approaching from different angles on the 3 days. 1, the key drivers of the green and digital transition. 2, the EU's open strategic autonomy. And 3, obviously, the integration of Ukraine into the single market. So this is the first occasion that the event is not taking place in Brussels. You've noticed, we're in Malaga. I hope you're happy to do so. And the decision to host the event here in Malaga is not a random choice at all. It marks the Spanish presidency of the EU Council and acknowledges Malaga's role, because both Andalusia as a region and the city of Malaga are indeed a driving force for innovation, new technologies, and sustainability in Southern Europe. And the city has very specific and solid policies to do so, to promote digitalization, technology, and innovation. And they sort of like articulate around a city strategic plan to transform Malaga into a smart city. It's the only model that can work these days for growth and sustainability in the face of the challenges to come. And as you will see, if you take a walk around Malaga, please do. I strongly recommend it to you. You will see that the local residents, the city citizens are well supporting this strategic plan and this idea. So it's a great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome you to the EU Industry Days. As we said, it's been in Brussels since 2017, and we are here today. So to welcome you properly and officially open this event, I would like to invite onto the stage Maive Rutte, Deputy Director General for Internal Market, Industry, Entrepreneurship and SMEs of the European Commission, who will welcome you properly to this event. Ms. Rutte, you have the floor. Bienvenida. Welcome.
Dear Secretary General, dear Mayor, dear Minister, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you, and really welcome to the European Union Industry Days 2023. It's a great pleasure for me personally to be here today, and also it's a great pleasure not to be only here in the EU Industry Days, but indeed in this beautiful city of Malaga, with all the sunshine and good examples of transition towards green, digital, and more resilient future that we have just heard of, and I'm sure we'll be experiencing during these days here. We are indeed innovating also with the EU Industry Days. So It's the 6th edition of the Industry Days, and now we are holding them not in Brussels, but here in Andalusia. And we have really an excellent cooperation from the Malaga City Council, the Junta de Andalucía, and the Spanish presidency of the Council of the European Union. So muchas gracias to your great support. So why are we actually here taking the EU Industry Days out from the capital of Europe? We are here because all of us in government, in industry, in small businesses, and also, of course, among the social and environmental stakeholders, we share a common goal. We want a successful and competitive European industry, and the industry that would be environmentally, socially, and economically sustainable. Industry that harnesses the transformative power of digital and other new technologies. We want industry that is resilient and protected from external shocks. And above all, an industry that provides the large numbers of high-quality jobs that our people, our communities need. So we are here to shape the future of that European industry. And of course, it's also great to mention that we are doing this event back-to-back to the Spanish industry gathering that took place here in the same premises for 2 days. So we can see the magnitude of our goodwill and our energy to coming together in Malaga these days. So throughout this event, we will showcase the extraordinary potential of European industry, illustrating how innovation, sustainability, and digitalization can be seamlessly integrated into a transition towards a different economic model. We will, of course, also discuss the challenges, and there are several, which industries in Europe are facing, and let's then discuss what solutions we need. So let me break down perhaps our plans, our discussions these days into 3 parts. First, we must implement the Green Deal industrial plan and complete the digital transition. That means working together to become the first climate-neutral continent by 2050. President von der Leyen said in the recent State of the European Union address that the Commission will have a series of clean transition dialogues with EU industry to discuss how to go through the transition. And indeed, I think this event here is one of these occasions. We have a number of sessions touching upon net zero, decarbonization, sustainability, and circular economy. We will be hearing about the key role of EU manufacturing and how we can keep that manufacturing industry and these jobs in Europe. We will be talking about transition pathways going towards this different economic model. We will be hearing about how we can innovate in different industrial areas, including also through applying deep tech. And we will be discussing what that means for our skills needs. Of course, the clean transition goes hand in hand with the digital transition. We will be looking at ways to boost digitalization of small and medium-sized enterprises. In addition, we will be discussing the critical role of semiconductors. Then the second area of attention, and linked to that, we must move to the open strategic autonomy. We need to take stock from our experiences within various value chains. We want to draw with you the list of strategic technologies which are critical for economic security and assess their risks so that we can be better prepared and mitigate these risks together. We will be thinking about our complicated relationship with China and how can we de-risk our relationship with China. And of course, we need to think about global value chains and how can we work with like-minded partners through our global gateway strategy. And then a third area which we will be looking at and discussing together would be of course, the single market. We have had 30 years of enormous benefits for our companies and citizens from the single market. But we, of course, know that single market is not something that stands still. We know that it needs to adjust to the new realities. And I'm very happy that former Italian Prime Minister Enrico Letta, who was asked by the European Council to prepare a report on the future of the single market, will be chairing a session to discuss exactly this, how to go towards a more integrated, deeper single market. In doing so, we need to make also use of our valuable support networks, such as our clusters network, such as our Enterprise Europe network, and they will be present here in the event as well. We have got to make that single market work for our next generation of entrepreneurs. We will be hearing from the young entrepreneurs about their expectations. And of course, we must bind Ukraine into the single market. We will start discussing the reconstruction and integration of Ukraine into the single market also during these days here. We must do what it takes and help our European companies understand the tremendous benefits from engaging with Ukraine. And of course, we also look forward to hearing from our Ukrainian partners about their expectations and their hopes to work with European businesses. So we have a packed agenda ahead of us. We invite you to engage actively, collaborate, exchange ideas that will shape the course of European industry. We invite you also to take a look into the amazing set of the exhibitors with their stands next door, and you will see with your own eyes interesting examples of innovations that they are bringing to the market. And importantly, although of course the plenary room and the session rooms are full of interesting discussions, it's nevertheless also an occasion to engage with the participants here, to make new connections, to create new approaches. So after all, it's also an opportunity to network. And in such a close, networked way, we then can forge ahead, united in purpose and in our vision. So here is the way to a splendid EU Industry Days 2023. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director General. And now we're going to hear from our Regional Minister for Industry, Energy and Mining of the Andalusian Regional Government. So, Consejero Jorge Paradela, you have the floor. Bienvenido, Consejero. Adelante.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Andalusia. Welcome to Malaga. A warm welcome to Maeve Rute, Deputy Director General for Internal Markets, Entrepreneurship and SMEs, Mayor of Malaga, dear Francisco de la Torre, Secretary General for Industry and SMEs of Spain, Francisco Blanco. This city was already a pioneer in the early stages of the Industrial Revolution in Spain, and today it is a leading European hub of high-tech industry. In many ways, Malaga has always been ahead of its time. The government of Andalusia is delighted to host this forum in Malaga. Our discussions will focus on enhancing the competitiveness and sustainability of the Made in the EU brand against increasing global competition, the need for a green and decarbonized economy, and the importance of industrial sovereignty. Europeans are facing multiple challenges, such as the transition to a green and digital economy or fierce competition from other geographies. Additionally, we must address the talent, development and retention challenge, together with an increasingly evident labor market mismatch, rising costs and regulatory complexity. The success of Europe's future industry will depend, in large part, on the actions we take now. Europe wants to reindustrialize itself through the use of clean technologies, and Andalusia wants to play a prominent role in this game. In other words, Andalusia wants to become a leader in Europe's green industry. I'd like to illustrate this point through a few examples. The Green Hydrogen Valley in Andalusia will produce over 300,000 tons of green hydrogen annually to power a new marine corridor between the south and north of Europe. Andalusia is already a prominent producer of sustainable aviation fuels for the European aviation industry. The circular economy is also a new way of doing business. For example, a new plant is being built in Huelva to recycle 60,000 tons of electronic waste and recover metals which are key to the energy transition. The government of Andalusia is currently processing around 1,200 renewable energy projects. This will represent an installed capacity of almost 20 gigawatts. Of these, more than half have already been approved for construction. All in all, clean technology at competitive prices is already becoming the best asset for industrial growth in Andalusia. In turn, our industry has the opportunity to provide solutions and equipment for the deployment of renewable energies. Energy is also becoming a key investment location factor. On top of this, Andalusia accounts for 90% of Spain's metallic mining. So we are a leading copper producer, among other critical materials which are also essential to this energy transition. For all these reasons, we are confident that Andalusia and Spain can lead the way in transforming Europe's energy sector. The European days will be an opportunity to discuss the industrial model the EU is aiming for. It is our expectation and our hope that this week will produce innovative ideas that can be translated into clear, flexible, and short-term policy. Only through action we can keep up with the demands of the new age. Thank you all for your time and attention. Enjoy the Congress. Enjoy Málaga. Thanks.
Muchas gracias, consejero. Thank you very much, Regional Minister. And well, to draw to an end and properly close this opening session, let's welcome on stage our host in the city of Málaga, Alcalde Francisco de la Torre, Mayor of Málaga. Welcome on stage, Alcalde. Bienvenido.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I extend my greetings to Maeve Rute, Deputy Director General for the Internal Market, Industry, Entrepreneurship and SMEs, European Commission, Jorge Paradela, Minister for Industry, Energy and Mining, Governor of Andalusia, General Secretary of Industry, Government of Spain, and to all distinguished participants of the EU Industry Days 2023. And also, of course, extend my greeting to all that connected online from the 27 countries of Europe and the other countries of the world. As Málaga Mayor, I would like to personally welcome you all to our beautiful city and share with you that Málaga is a vibrant, culturally rich, and sustainable metropolis that has nurtured a dynamic and innovative ecosystem, attracting entrepreneurs and multinational technology companies. Beyond being a popular tourist destination with millions of visitors each year, it has also become a favorite location to live, to work, and invest. Our local culture is influenced by the various civilizations that have traversed this region over the past 3 millennia, and the city is fortunate to be the birthplace of illustrious figures like Pablo Picasso and Antonio Banderas. Málaga boasts numerous historical landmarks, 39 museums, and serves as the gateway to the famous beach and golf haven known as the Costa del Sol. Today, we are honored to be the host for this important conference dedicated to latest trend and industrial policy guiding our economy today. With professional and international leaders from industry, civil society organizations, universities, European Commission and citizens from across the EU, I anticipate a civil discussion that align with this year's three mainstays: managing the green, digital, and resilient transition, EU open strategy autonomy, and the integration of Ukraine into the single market. To help start the discussion, please allow me to share a few examples of the remarkable initiative we are currently undertaking right here in Malaga. Looking ahead, no one doubts the impact that digitalization and climate change will have on the global economy. Innovation is not just about technology, but about how technology can help us make cities better, more livable, friendlier, safer, more resilient, more flexible, and more adaptable. We have defined a municipal strategy around the smart city, sustainable mobility, energy efficiency, big data analysis, digital economy, and the application of ICT to improve the lives of our citizens while preserving the environment. Our enthusiasm, which launched important city projects more than 20 years ago, remains unchanged today. Innovation is the pillar of our transformation and the key element that has contributed to our progress. Regarding European Union's pursuit of economic, technological, and strategic independence while maintaining a collaborative approach with the rest of the world, I will mention the Ricardo Valle Institute of Innovation Foundation. Founded in 2022, is a public-private partnership between the Andalusian Regional Government, Malaga City Council, Company Mayoral, the Sandoz Foundation, and the Miramar Group, with the active support of the University of Malaga and the Malaga Technological Park. Its objective is to help the growth and consolidation of the supply chain generating digital technology in three main fields: microelectronics, microprocess, digital technology, artificial intelligence, and advanced 5G network, with the aim of becoming more self-sufficient in critical areas such as technology, industry, and security, without isolating Spain from global market. In its first year, the Ricardo Valle Institute successfully managed a total of 11 projects whose implementation will involve an investment of 400 million euros. Finally, Malaga shares a special connection with Ukraine, exemplified by the significant presence of technology companies such as EPAM, Cyclone, and Intellias. These companies, hailing from the Ukrainian region, contribute not only to the technological landscape of Malaga, but also to our community. In April 2022, recognizing the importance of standing with our global neighbor, Malaga proudly hosts one of the 4 Ukrainian refugee centers established in Spain, providing support and a new beginning for those displaced. As a testament to our commitment, we generously offered 100 homes to Ukrainian refugees. The Maidan Malaga Ukrainian Association and the Ukrainian Consulate in Malaga quickly launched a website to facilitate aid from the citizens of Malaga to the Ukrainian people. As we extend our heartfelt sympathy to the Ukrainian people during this challenging time, we sincerely hope for a swift resolution to the conflict. May the path ahead bring peace and prosperity, allowing Ukraine to seamlessly integrate into the single market. In conclusion, I congratulate once again the European Commission for organizing this highly important event and for choosing Malaga to be your host. I hope this day will be both productive and enlightening for all the participants. Finally, I encourage you all to enjoy Malaga, this beautiful monument, its rich cultural heritage, friendly people and delicious Mediterranean cuisine. And don't forget, Malaga is one of the best places of the world to attract digital industry, advanced technology industry, sustainable industry for international sustainability. We recognize, on the other hand, the importance of education for the new industry, for the new era. Thank you, and have a great day today, tomorrow, and past tomorrow, and always. Thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much, Mayor of Málaga. Well, this was the institutional opening, and we're now going to roll up our sleeves and get to start. The best way of starting is to have a framework, a context, which is going to be, in this case, 2 keynote speeches. Our first keynote speech is a message, a very special message from European Commissioner for Internal Market, Thierry Breton. Let's listen to him.
Good morning, Malaga. This is already the 5th edition of the EU Industry Days, and what a journey it has been. In the last few years, we have experienced a series of economic and geopolitical shocks like never before. War on our continent, climate change impacts, a pandemic, global technological race, high inflation, tectonic plates are shifting. Besides, these recent disruptions have exposed Europe's over-reliance on a handful of actors and the importance of securing global supply chains. In addition, we faced with a fierce global competition taking place to secure the clean tech and digital markets of the future. But competition has to be unfair. I'm thinking of our solar and wind manufacturers being unfairly challenged because of China's overcapacities fueling and closing of the clean tech market. That is why we need to act forcefully and strategically. Be it in chips, batteries, solar panels or hydrogen, we want the EU to remain an industrial leader that exports European products and technologies, but not our jobs. That doesn't mean, of course, we should follow the Chinese track of unrestricted subsidies or mimic the American first approach. We are doing it the European way. Industrial policy, the European way. What does it mean? First, ramping up our industrial capacities and strengthening our supply chains. We have learned, take the example of vaccines production, that research alone is not enough, and that there is no industrial strategy without factories. A lot has been done already, starting with the work of our industrial alliances in identifying and championing the most game-changing projects, and which has led to the regulatory triptych that the Commission has put forward. Upstream, the Critical Raw Material Act, to ensure a secured and sustainable access to raw materials. Downstream, the CHIP Act and the Net Zero Industry Act to help Europe build its industrial leadership in deep digital and clean tech. Second, widening our sourcing and tech diplomacy, in particular through strategic partnerships, are absolutely essential to add value in developing regional value chains and in sustainable development through our global gateway projects. Europe is not promoting a protectionist agenda, of course. None of the recent EU initiatives contain discriminatory provisions. None. We are maintaining our long-standing commitment to free and open trade. Third, shaping markets to be competitive, productive, and fair. Europe has also learned that it needs to be more aware of the risk to its economic security, more assertive also in establishing a balance of power with global peers, less naive in ensuring a level playing field with industries from third countries. We now have new trade defense instruments at our disposal, and I'm glad we are now ready to use them. For instance, regarding the case of subsidized electric vehicles coming from China, as recently announced by the President. We are also finalizing a list of strategic technologies which are critical to economic security and assessing their risk with a view to devising appropriate mitigating measures. And of course, we continue improving our single market functioning so that it can bring economies of scale for our companies and become a springboard for their competitiveness at a global stage. Fourth, investing for economic growth. And so, this is my last point that I would like to tackle on finance. No need to recall investment needs. More than 700 billion euros each year until 2030 in clean tech deployment for our Green Deal objectives, including, by the way, more than 100 billion euro in clean tech manufacturing capacity only. We need to mobilize both public and private resources, using all possible tools from InvestEU to IPCIs, from the temporary easing of state aid rules to REPowerEU, from the recently proposed strategic technologies for Europe platforms to a future sovereignty fund that Europe is still missing. So you see, we have a lot of challenges coming up, but we also have the means, the foresight, and the stamina to take them up. The EU Industry Days gathers the leaders and the makers of our European industry. While at our legislative level we have the tools now to set the right framework and defend our interests on the global stage, we need you to drive the transition, the twin transition on the ground, to innovate and to inspire. With this, I would like to wish you all fruitful discussions and interactions, of course, during the 3 days. I already know that we can count on your energy and your eagerness to shape Europe's future for the better. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Commissaire Breton. Thank you very much. And now we are going to give the floor to our next speaker for another keynote general presentation. Well, let's listen to the Spanish Secretary General for Industry and SMEs from the Spanish National Government, the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Tourism in Spain, Mr. Francisco Antonio Blanco, Secretary General, Secretario General, cuando quiera. Bienvenido. And let's give him a round of applause. Our keynote speaker.
Dear Commissioner Breton, dear Regional Minister Paradela and Mayor de la Torre, dear authorities, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to welcome you all to Spain, to Malaga, to participate in the European Union Industry Days, a great initiative of the Commission that will help us to understand the importance of the European industrial ecosystem. I would like to focus my speech on two ideas that seem to me to be fundamental and not without controversy, since they imply some reviews and changes in what has been our industrial policy to date and in the role reserved to institutions in promoting research, innovation, and, above all, business investment. The first of these ideas has to do with the growing relationship between industrial development and political autonomy. We have always seen industry as a fundamental to ensuring the economic growth of Europe and the creation of more and better jobs. We know that industry is an important driver for other sectors of the economy, and it plays a crucial role in our balance of trade. For this reason, the European Union industrial policies have been focused historically on promoting the innovation and the energy and digital transition. However, since the COVID crisis, through the subsequent disruption of the global supply chain and the war in Ukraine, we have seen that industry is not only important for its economic significance, but that industry has become also strategic. A strong and resilient industry is a necessary condition for our economic security and even for our political sovereignty. It is essential to recognize that the victory in the battle for political hegemony that we are witnessing must come preceded by the victory in the battle for technological hegemony, the basis of economic competitiveness. But it is also clear that technology does not exist in vacuum. To be useful and remain at the forefront, technology must be embedded in an industrial ecosystem. This is why geopolitics has recently come to give new relevance to industry and industrial policies. That is precisely the second idea that I would like to emphasize. The concept of industrial policy is changing, moving from a paradigm based on not interventionism to a much more realistic one. We need to face the great challenges and demand decisional action from the Union and the Member States in support of our industrial sectors. It is clear that this paradigm shifts pose challenges and difficulties, and it is not without controversy. I am aware of these risks. The single market is one of the great assets of the Union. It is essential to achieve economic of scale, intelligent specialization, and facilitate business growth and competitiveness. It is evident that we cannot jeopardize by entering into an uneven race for subsidies that could alter the level playing field. For the same reason, I believe that the only way to make the single market compatible with this new industrial policy is to make industrial policy a major common policy in the European Union. Some steps have already been taken. The Net Zero Industry Act or the Critical Raw Material Act, as well as the Temporary Crisis and Transition Framework or the changes in the General Block Exemption regulations go precisely in that direction, creating a single legal framework for this new industrial policy. On the other hand, the search for common sources of funding, such as the Sovereignty Fund, has encountered much greater difficulties and has been limited, at least for the time being, to practical initiatives such as STEP. It is my personal opinion that we must continue moving forward on this path, a path that, as I have already said, is not free of risk and difficulties. For this reason, it is particularly important to hear the voices of all the actors involved, starting with companies, with experts and researchers, with all of you. That is why I think this conference is a great initiative, and I would like to thank the Commission once again for organizing it and all you for participating. I hope you will enjoy the various events and conferences that will take place here in Malaga over the next 3 days. Thank you very much.
Gracias. Muchas gracias.